Hello. If you're watching this video, you're probably refinancing your home and it didn't appraise for what you wanted it to. I have been there. My name is Jillian White and I have been a real estate appraiser since 2003. I work for a large bank running their appraisal department, and one of my jobs was to put together a pathway for homeowners to dispute their appraisal reports. And so the purpose of this video is to teach you how to effectively dispute your appraisal report. An appraisal by definition is an opinion of value. So it most certainly can be disputed, and the process for disputing it is called a reconsideration of value. The best time to submit your reconsideration of value is immediately once you think there is a problem with the valuation. And the reason for this is because if there is a delay and it leads to your mortgage not going through on time, there could be fees associated with that, and you don't want to be on the hook for them. Within the appraisal report, there's a lot of information to be found. Most appraisal reports are 20 pages, sometimes even longer. There's information about your property, there's information about your neighborhood, there's information about the comparable sales that the appraiser is comparing your house to in order to determine value. Appraisal reports are standardized. They're on the exact same form. Now, the form differs from single families to multifamilies to condos, but the format remains the same. In every appraisal report, the first three sections are going to be subject, contract, and neighborhood. After that, there's some deviation, but keep going through the report sections until you find the sales comparison approach. Here's what I love about the sales comparison approach. It shows you the comparables used in the report, and comp selection, and that's what we call comparables, comps. Comp selection is the most important aspect of the appraisal report. Also, in the sales comparison grid, you get to see the adjustments that were made by the appraiser. And adjustments are the second most important aspect of the appraisal report. And then another reason why the sales comparison grid is so important is because you get to see the line items within the report. And so a line item is an item that has space all of its own for the appraiser to make adjustments. And so there's a monetary value associated with line items. The appraiser can add value or take it away. Appliances, windows, flooring, anything else that doesn't have a space for a line item adjustment often isn't adjusted for. Its adjustment is absorbed into other line items. So what this means for you is that even if the appraiser gets every single aspect of appliances, flooring, windows incorrect, and let's say the appraiser goes back and corrects the report, that probably is not going to translate to any sort of change in value. So when creating your reconsideration of value, you really want to focus on the areas that are going to have impact. And those areas are the pluses and the minuses of the sales comparison grid. Next, let's talk about comp selection. Comp selection, once again, is the most important aspect of the appraisal report. Every report is going to have a minimum of 3 sold sales. In your report, there might be more than 3 sold sales, or it's possible that the appraiser included listings. For the purposes of this talk, we're going to focus just on the closed sales because closed sales carry more weight than listings. When reviewing the appraisal report, you want to ask yourself 3 questions. Are the comps recent? Are the comps proximate? Are the comps similar? If the answer to any of these questions is no, there could be an opportunity for you to present the appraiser with better comps. In terms of recency, if the comp has sold within the past 3 months, that's great. Within the past 6 months, that's fine. Within the past 12 months, that is acceptable. But anything longer than that, and there should be strong commentary in there explaining why the appraiser went so far back in time. In terms of proximity, you want to ask yourself the question, are these comps the most proximate? The general rule of thumb is that the comps selected should be within a 1 mile radius of the subject property. This is not a hard and fast rule. In very dense cities, going out a 1/4 of a mile, sometimes only going out a 1/10 of a mile is more appropriate than that 1 mile. And then in really rural areas, the appraiser might need to go out 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 miles. So the rule of thumb regarding the 1 mile mostly pertains to suburban areas. When examining the comps for similarity, you want to think about the line items. Every line item on the sales comparison grid is a check for similarity. It is comparing your property to other properties. The more line item adjustments there are, the less similar the comparables are to your home. There are 2 line item adjustments I want to make you aware of, because what happens oftentimes is homeowners will discredit their reconsideration of value because they don't know how to handle or approach these 2 particular line items. The first one has to do with bedroom count. Just because you put a bed in a room does not make it a bedroom. In order for the appraiser to give you credit for a bedroom, it must have a closet, a door, and a window. The second line item I want to talk to you about regards square footage. Homeowners calculate square footage in a very clear and straightforward way. Appraisers calculate square footage a little bit differently. I'll give you an example. If someone lives in a 2-story home with a basement, they might say, my first floor is 1,000 square feet, my second floor is 1,000 square feet, my basement is 1,000 square feet. Therefore, I live in a 3,000 square foot home. I follow that logic, and that is not how appraisers handle square footage. We separate out the above grade square footage from the below grade square footage. Or to put it another way, we separate out the above ground square footage from the below ground square footage. So in the example that I just gave, from the appraiser's perspective, you live in a 2,000 square foot home with a 1,000 square foot basement, and the appraiser is going to compare your home to other 2,000 square foot homes. Here's where homeowners oftentimes will mess up. They will look at their square footage holistically and say, I live in a 3,000 square foot home, and then they'll compare their home to other 3,000 square foot homes, except the other 3,000 square foot homes, all of their square footage is above ground. And so they submit this to the appraiser and then are disappointed when the appraiser is saying, no, this house is not comparable. If you decide that you want to submit additional comparables to the appraiser for the appraiser to take a look at, please keep in mind that your comps have to be better than the comps provided by the appraiser. And better is defined in 3 ways: more recent, more approximate, and more similar. And you need 2 out of these 3 in order for it to really be considered better. So you need for your comps to be more recent and more approximate, or more approximate and more similar, or more similar and more recent. And then only when they are truly proven to be better, then you have a really strong chance of the appraiser going back and either including those in the report or just taking another look. Now that we've concluded the portion about comp selection, next I want to talk about adjustments, because adjustments are the second most important aspect of the appraisal report. Adjustments can be positive or adjustments can be negative. Positive adjustments are made for inferior comps. Negative adjustments are made for superior comps. Here's an example. If you live in a 4-bedroom house and the appraiser is comparing it to a 5-bedroom house, the appraiser is going to make a negative adjustment to bring that 5-bedroom down to a 4-bedroom. On the flip side, if you live in a 4-bedroom house and the appraiser is comparing it to a 3-bedroom house, they're going to make a positive adjustment to bring that 3-bedroom up to a 4-bedroom. Let's say the appraiser intended to make a positive $10,000 adjustment, but instead it turns into a negative $10,000 adjustment. That is a $20,000 adjustment going in the wrong direction. So just make sure everything is pointed in the right way. Most adjustments on the sales comp grid are made up of very small percentages. The appraiser might make a 1% adjustment or a 2% adjustment or a 0.5% adjustment. That is not what you need. You need large, sizable, substantial adjustments that are like 5% of the overall value or even higher. There are 2 line item adjustments that meet this criteria. The first one is called the condition rating. The condition rating is a score associated with the condition of your house. It's on a scale from 1 to 6. A C1 condition is brand new and pristine. A C6 condition rating means that the house probably should be torn down. Most houses fall somewhere in the middle, probably C3 or C4 condition rating. There is a definition associated with condition ratings. Read the definition and see if you agree with it. If you don't, you have the opportunity to dispute it with the appraiser and provide evidence as to why you think your condition rating should be different. Condition ratings are incredibly powerful because it's a line adjustment. So it's dedicated to nothing but condition rating. And also, since it's a line adjustment, that means a monetary value is associated with it. And then also, on average, condition adjustments are large. They're like 5%, 10%, 15%, sometimes even higher. And also, because there is a clear definition, the definition moves you out of the arena of opinions and into the arena of hard facts. The second line item adjustment that is very similar to condition rating is quality of construction rating. So the same rules apply. There is a scale from 1 to 6. There is a definition associated with each one of them. Most houses fall somewhere in the middle. Quality of construction ratings are typically large adjustments. In summary, to recap everything that was discussed, you can dispute your appraisal report. This process is called a reconsideration of value. You want to focus on the sales comparison grid. You want to review the comp selection, and you also want to review the adjustments. If you choose to submit additional comparables to the appraiser, you want to make sure that the comps that you suggest are better than the comps that are already included in the report. And lastly, condition and quality of construction adjustments make the largest impact to value. I hope this was helpful. I wish you the best of luck in your appraisal journey. Let me know how it goes.